Hello everyone, my name is Amos Nimas and welcome to this video. I realize I was making another video today and I said that I would explain why you should try to use a text editor that works in your terminal. And I did not explain that. And this is why I'm making this video, because I am gonna try to explain to you why you should try your best to stay in your terminal as much as you can. Well, first of all, it's an application launcher. That's a great feature. You can start most application that you installed with sudo apt installed name of the app. You can start them with the terminal. So for example, if I just type the name of an application like Praten, for some reason that's the first one that came to my mind, so that's the one I'm showing to you. So this is a video game, and I'm gonna quit it because it's not important right now. And is this still recording? Okay, because there was a lot of lag because of the video game rendering at the same time as I was recording and all that, so it caused some issue that you can see in your terminal. So second reason, when you execute an application from the terminal, it will output all the debugs, all the messages, all the action that happens in your software, all the error messages will be output to your terminal. So if something goes wrong, you will know and you can probably fix it. You can probably find Google, do a search, do a DuckDuck search. I don't know what search engine you use, but you can probably find an answer online on why this issue happened and how to prevent it if there's an answer to that. Yeah, so that's one of the advantage of using the terminal to boot your application. You have this console that will output everything, and if you don't want to see the console, you can just maybe move it to another workspace. Like if I move it to my second workspace where I have my recording software, you don't see it anymore. You can move it back to the first workspace, and you can all learn to do that with shortcut on the tiling window manager. If you don't use tiling window manager, most casual window manager like GNOME have multiple workspace. You just need to, again, do a search to learn how to use them. But this is not what this video is about today. This is about the terminal. So I made a function in my bash rc that I like a lot because it's simple to just copy a single file, which is my bash rc, instead of having to copy multiple files each time that I want to have a new system, new computer that I want to configure. But at the same time, like I said in the previous video, the bash rc is executed each time that your terminal starts. So if your bash rc has too much stuff in it, it can slow down the way your terminal open. So if you want your terminal to open fast, well, you might not want to bloat your bash rc. That's not the best idea. You might want to have all those software, those function in separate script file, shell file, that you can then call from the bash rc or from an aliases, or something shorter that takes maybe less space in your when it's executed. But again, this is CDL. By default, you have on Linux the CD command, which allow you to move, like for example in my document, I can press tab to autocomplete the directory name because I am lazy and always use tab when you can. It will save you a lot of time. Also, there's a way to have autocomplete for application name and program name, so that's also nice to have. If I do cd ... it will bring me in the previous directory. So if I go into document, it will bring me back to my home /user directory by doing ... And why did I show you cd? That's because I have this function that I made, which is like cd, but instead of having to type the name of the file I want to go in, I can just select the number. For example, if I type 5, it's for documents, and I'm in my document folder. If I want to go back, cd ... There you go. And I could also use CDL. So if I do the same thing I just did by CDL 5 documents, and I do CDL enter 1 for ... I go back into my home directory, and it also prints the content of the directory that I am in on top of my terminal. So that's useful, I guess. But most people don't want to type at all. They just don't want that. So use Ranger, which is a file manager that you can use in your terminal. But then again, some people don't want to use the keyboard. Well, you can use the mouse in Ranger. For some reason, they allow you to use your mouse in the terminal, which some people are uh, against it, because if you're a purist, if you're a pure Linux user, you realized long ago that the mouse was slowing you down, and the more you can use the terminal to just do your stuff, the faster you can get. You're just faster with the terminal. That's just a fact. When you get used to the mouse, the keyboard, when you get used to having your finger at the right place, that's why you can use G, K, H, L to move around in Ranger, because those are keys that are where your finger are supposed to be placed when your finger are ready to type. So if I quit by doing Q, I can already start typing something. I don't have to move my hand from the mouse to the keyboard, to the mouse to the keyboard. And I'm telling you, if you really are a fast writer, somebody who can learn to write real fast, I'm not that fast of a writer, but if you get used to typing fast, this is really slowing you down. If you can type 200 words a second, just the second that it takes to move your freaking hand from the mouse to the keyboard, you're losing hundreds of words that you could have been typing long ago. So this is one of the reasons. So using the keyboard instead of the mouse, and that's what those text editor that are in the terminal will provide you. You will be able with the keyboard to edit everything you want. You can not do this and other type of text editor. Maybe you can use the arrow key in some. I mean, you can do that, I guess, but who will not use the mouse in a GUI text editor? It's too tempting. It's too tempting. And when you get good with those text editor, you don't need the mouse, and you can be just as fast. Am I as fast with those text editor than I am with, like for example, gedit, which is a GUI text editor? Do you want to save the buffer? No. Okay, so gedit. Let's open it. I can start to type some code. I can move with the mouse on the line that I have already opened. That's normal. I can move left and right if I'm on a line. So you can use the keyboard a little bit, but it's not best practice to do so. And then you can copy stuff like this and move it around. So you can do some stuff. Yes, I am used to using GUI text editor. I use this all my life, and that's the problem. I got used to it. You shouldn't. You should, the sooner you can not use those GUI text editor and start learning, for example, Vim, which most people can get really good at. I am not. So to start typing in Vim, you need to press I for insert mode. You can type whatever you want, for example this, because I like typing this for some reason, and you can escape by doing escape, which you should swap the key with the caps lock. I always found that it's stupid that the escape key was so far in the caps lock that I almost never use. It is so close to where my small finger is, my pinky finger is. So I like to just swap them with a comment. It's in my bash RC. If you want to take a look at it, you can find it on GitHub. And if you want to quit Vim, it's just simply the double dot at the bottom of the screen, bottom left of the screen, bottom right, I'm not sure. So you can type Q and exclamation sign to say do not save, because I want to quit without saving this. And that's it. That's Vim. There's probably way better tutorial on Vim that you can find online. And if you don't want to start with Vim, just start with Nano. And if you don't know how to use Nano, it's easy. Sorry, you do Control G. Control G, you have all the information on how to use Nano. And what's interesting with Nano is that you can use the mouse if you want. I don't suggest it, but when you start using it, if it makes you comfortable, you can activate mouse control. And like I said, the information is in the help menu if you don't know how to do it. Control X to exit Nano. And that's it for Nano. So you can have folder manager that works in the terminal instead of using the default folder manager. Maybe it looks pretty, but you don't need to have those icons. Those icons are useless. The only thing you're going to be looking at is the name of those files. So this takes a lot of space for no reason, And it's not more pretty. When you look at this, it's not more pretty. I will argue that Ranger is more pretty. It's more minimalist, and you get used to that. And it's not slower either. Like doing this does not take more time than using the mouse like I just did. It's I could put them side by side. Um, at worst, they're equal. If you just get a little bit used to using the keyboard to move it around folder, at worst they're equal. At best, the terminal is faster, is better, and also you're always in the terminal. That's the next point. The terminal is the maestro. Is orchestrate. It allows you to orchestrate all your individual program. The terminal, you should always have one open all the time. I want to start some music, I start some music with CMOS. I want to quit this, I'm back in the terminal. I want to do something else, I'm already in the terminal. I can just start typing what I want to do. So that's the point of it. You keep the terminal open. You do everything with the terminal. Because I can start program doing this, Sauerbraten, enter, and I have my Sauerbraten. But if I still want to have a terminal open, because if I want to do something else, my terminal is there. If I want to use eSpeak for some reason, and I want to say hello world,
Hello world.
you see the terminal was already open. It was easy to do. If I want to remove a file, move into a file, it's easy. If I want to go back, there you go, ls, you can do your terminal stuff. And that might include removing file, remove all file. You know, there's a lot of small bash command, GNU command, or Unix command that you should all learn. And those commands are really useful when you get used to them. And when you want to do something, that's what is so hard. Is that because when I want to show you the potential that those commands have, I'm not necessarily trying to achieve something. I don't have a goal, so I don't know what to show you. You can do everything with them, mostly everything. I have function that explain what I did with those commands most of the time in my bash RC. And if I do less to show you my bash RC, somewhere in there I have a really interesting function which convert, like this is the one. It converts file from one format to another. That's what it does. So yeah, it will PDF layout. Does it work? Did I do an error? I'm not sure. That PDF to text and then. Okay, no, that's not the one I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you. That's another one. This one I think is useless now that I have the conv function. I call it conv because it's CONV that I called it. Where is it? And my screen just blink all the time because this recording is starting to be real long, so I'm just gonna show you this function, and after that it's gonna be the end of this video, if I can just find it. Oh, I thought it would be quicker to find. I have way too much stuff in my bash RC, way too much stuff. Conv, here it is. So what it does, you enter a file and you enter a name to output the file to, and it will find the format of the file, and it will, well, rename, it will create a new file of another format. So it will, if you enter a PDF file, it will output it as a text file. If you enter an EPUB file, it will convert it as a text file. If you enter a text file, it will output it as an EPUB file. So, you know, you can go around. I think the only thing missing would be to convert EPUB into PDF, and you have the loop would be complete if you could do that. But you can't, because there's probably a way to do that. I'm not denying that there's probably a way to do that, but why would I want that? That's the question. This is something I can use, I will use, but why would I want my EPUB to be converted into PDF? I just never seen a reason to want to do that, so that's why it doesn't do it. But if I wanted to, I could say that when I enter an EPUB, and well, then I would have to specify the output format, because by default, if I enter an EPUB, it will output it as a text. So you see, it will already broke this function if I tried that. But this is a program, PDF to text. This is another program, ebook converter, or ebook convert, I mean. And I'm orchestrating them inside of my bash file, inside of my terminal, with as a function, but this doesn't have to be a function. This line works as a comment. This is another comment that you can write as a single line in your terminal. So those are comments that I used a lot. So I used them so much that I made a function that used them for me. So that's what you do at some point. But when you just start using, when you don't want to use a function that many times, and when you don't know if you're going to use a function a lot, you're just going to enter it as a comment in the terminal. Why make a function for a comment, a single line comment, that you're not sure if you're going to reuse it again? You don't have to have a function for every comment. So that's the point of it. That's why you want to type the comment in your terminal, and that's why your terminal should be open, because otherwise it's a pain in the ass to always, you know, close terminal, open the terminal, close the terminal, open the terminal. And some people avoid the terminal. Why would you do that? There's so many stuff you can do in here. You can like list every line in the text document that has a specific word in it that you need to find, and maybe replace this word. And you can all do this, I agree, with the text editor. Most of the time there's alternative that you could do without using the terminal. But then how would you combine those comments? How would you, okay, find the word, replace the word, and then, I don't know, do something else with this word, with this output, like now copy all those lines that you just changed in another file. That's a pain to do manually, but you know, it's just one more comment to add. It's just one pipe to add to your comment that you're typing. It's probably just the and symbol or the pipe symbol, or you know, it's not that hard once you get used to the schematic, once you get used to the bash language. And that's why you should have the terminal open. You want to know something, you can just use a manual. You want to know something about your system, you can use neofetch. You want to install software, sudo apt install. Or maybe you could make an aliases for that. So you can make alias inst equals sudo apt install. So you can just do inst and the name of the software you want to install. That's why your terminal should stay open. That's how you install software. That's how you update software. That's how you upgrade software. That's how you use software. That's why you can do everything from your terminal, even play video game. That's why I insist on showing you game you can play in the terminal. Because like if I start Moon Buggy, why am I playing a game in the terminal? To show you there's nothing you can't do in the terminal. Most things can't be done. Maybe something shouldn't be done in the terminal. If you're gonna edit an image, for example, if you want to make some music, the terminal may be not the best composing software to compose music. It's not. Maybe there's some MIDI software that works in the terminal, and I hope there was more, because when you can make something in the terminal, you should make something in the terminal. When you can do something in the terminal, you should. If you know how to make a software that could work in the terminal, that doesn't exist in the terminal, that people would use in the terminal, make it. Because yeah, it's a single program that does everything. It's the main program of your computer. And on Windows, it's so bad that you never use it. You don't want to use it. I understand people who don't want to use the Windows terminal. It can do nothing. It's bad. It's a poor terminal. It cannot do what the Linux terminal can do. If the Windows terminal could do what the Linux terminal can do, I mean, maybe people would use it more, but it's bad. And since people are used to Windows, they're used to a bad terminal, so they're used to hating the terminal. This is good terminal. You can do a lot of stuff with it. You would be missing on a lot of stuff, of opportunity. It would make your life so much easier to just learn to use it. So that's the end of this video. This was to tell you why you should use the terminal. Avoid the mouse. It's faster to just use the keyboard. Avoid not using the terminal if you can. Like I still use Firefox as a web browser currently on this computer. I'm still looking for better open source alternative privacy respecting web browser that works correctly, but so far it's hard to find good alternative. There's IceCat, I think, that GNU made, which is a fork of Mozilla Firefox. There's ungoogled Chromium, but I don't understand those projects enough right now to be able to say if they're really that good or not. So for now, I can't say anything. But I just know that Brave has some exception, because Brave comes with a Brave, which is another web browser, which is supposed to be privacy respecting, and it has ad blocker installed in Brave by default. But this ad blocker has also exception installed by default for big program, big corporation, and I don't want that. I know that some of those programs might not work well without those cookie and spyware and stuff like that, but that's not normal. If your program cannot work correctly without using cookie and spyware in my computer that I don't want, there's a problem with your program. I don't want to use it. So there's also links that I didn't write correctly, because links, I don't use this one a lot. I use W3M, to be honest, and now I need to type a website, so why not the one that everybody takes as an example, which is DuckDuckGo.com, for example. And we're on DuckDuckGo. We can use tab to enter something. Enter, for example, IceCat. Enter, tab, search, and you can do a web search in your terminal. It's a lot of typing sometimes to go down, a lot of tab that you need to press. So it's not really user friendly. You can use the mouse? No? Can you? You kinda can. You can move your cursor with the mouse and then like press enter to open a link. So you kinda can use the mouse, but again, I have something against using the mouse in the terminal, like I said before. And I mean, okay, the terminal is still looking better. Like if you can get used to using the mouse in your terminal to open links, and you don't have images, that's a side effect of using a terminal web browser. Some terminal allow you to still have images, but you have to admit that an image in your terminal will always look ugly because it's out of place. It's not at its place. I mean, it's cool. It's real cool that you can do that, but at the same time, it takes a lot of space, because look at this. Just with the text, we have all this text around that takes space. If we add images, it's going to be even harder to access the text. So if you want to focus maybe more on the text of something, or of an article or something, maybe it's better to just use the terminal as a web browser. If you don't want to have ads and pop-ups everywhere, just use the terminal as a web browser. It's real fine. You can even start YouTube video in your web browser if you use MPV and type the link of the video you want to start. And there's software that have been made to just look up video on YouTube from your system without having to go on YouTube, because we all hate using YouTube. We just want to access video on it. We don't have the choice to use the Google platform to access those video. So yeah, that's it for today's video. You can like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And if you leave a comment, I will try my best to answer it. So have a good day. Bye bye.